Quickly, if I can, on your situation, Tim, somebody's asking me now, Larry would like to know, what is the new gig, what does it pay? What kind of salary can he expect when he applies for this position of president?
For president? Well, it depends on, I guess it probably depends on what wonderful experiences you bring.
It's got to bring great experience.
I don't know. It's up to the search committee.
Okay.
I'm just a minion.
I know that they're looking for the best candidate, and you're not on the search committee. You're assisting in any way you can. But is it somebody that they think should be local, or do you think they'll go out of the community to fill the spot?
I think they're probably going to look both ways in regards to it. And clearly, if it's head on head, I would think that a local person would, whatever it is. I'll tell you one thing: it's going to have to be somebody that can deal with pressure.
Yeah.
Because when you're talking about dealing with some of the issues that I've had to deal with in regards to it, this is not for the faint of heart.
Well, right down to, I'll talk about a moment that it was very difficult. I know very difficult for you, and that was the possibility of cancellation and ending early.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah. Because you took a lot of heat for that.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I took a lot of heat for that.
And it was an impending thunderstorm, and then, of course, when it doesn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so it's that
You're
was
like the superintendent of schools that canceled school for the blizzard and the sun shines.
The kids are loving it, but the parents are, what are you doing?
That storm that was coming had a history. It had killed 2 people in Michigan, and we knew it was packing a significant amount of power. I didn't want to, but saying that, it's kind of like thunder and lightning. Now we canceled, for example, this year we canceled Kids Run, first time we've ever done it in 20-some years.
And it was bad out though.
It was bad out, but we waited on the cancellation until 6:00 in the morning because thunder and lightning, by its very nature, is very unpredictable. So it was the same thing that I did with the Boilermaker that particular year. Was I waited till the to call to the last minute to the National Weather Service to say, okay, what is it? And the first thing, it kills me. So the first thing they'll do is when they talk to you about it felt like I was talking to like a stockbroker.
Yeah.
He's there like, well, Mr. Reed, I just want to tell you, we are not weather predictors. We are. So he's like, so former, production does not indicate future results or whatever. Well, he kind of was like covering his bases in regards to, I said, well, so, what do you think? And he goes, well, if you finish it by noon, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah.
I love the words think, perhaps,
Yeah.
Nothing. And so I said, okay, fine. So we called, said we're going to do the race. We cut the post-race party back by an hour. And the reason why was, we would have been safe for the post-race party people. But, I've got Boy Scouts.
Yeah,
I've got DPW. I've got people who've got to clean the mess up after the fact. I've got to think about the safety of everybody, not just the safety of some.
Well, and you're dealing with the safety of people, so it is a tough position.
Exactly.
And that's going to be one of the pressure positions that people will be in the midst of, whoever
it's kind of like
takes on that job.
Safety's up here, and kind of everything else is like way down here.
Yeah. You won't be offended if at some point this week, top 10 jobs Tim Reed is considering. There'll be a lot of fun with this.
We have heard from the Boilermaker, broken down by hour, your wage is actually less than $1 an hour, which is close to when the race began in the 1970s.
Exactly. So I'm ready for radio.
And finally, Joe Lode, who was talking about being safe. And are you familiar with that box truck coming down?
I was.
Yeah, because you were in the command center, which is basically has eyes on the entire...
Absolutely.
All over.
Yeah.
So Joe said he felt really safe.
Yeah, hopefully they do. It's a very fine line you run into in regards to having people feel safe versus feeling anxious or that it's over the top. Right. And that's a really fine line you've got to kind of walk. Everyone says... nothing would ever happen, during the Boilermaker.
Why would anybody?
Why wouldn't? Well,
why would you do anything here?
Well, guess what? You're putting on a big city event in a small town.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be very easy to have something like that happen.
Well, anytime. I mean, what do they search for? And I had said Newtown.
Yeah.
Small town. What happened at Herkimer? Anytime you have a lot of people, can I just briefly talk about our experience? Because and I don't see this as any bit of a goodbye. I still think whatever you end up doing,
absolutely,
you're going to be.
I'll haunt you.
You'll be a guest in this program. We'll be promoting something that you have.
Yep.
But I was very honored this year with the Les Diven Award, and I appreciate that greatly.
Well,
everything
you earned it.
You've done, I really appreciate, and we've become really good friends. I just want to talk about just for a moment this Maxine Nightingale. That
was so bad.
It was.
My Lord.
Tim and I on Saturday night were discussing what do we do if we have to announce that she's canceled, because it was so close to cancellation. So.
And you had pushed it so hard.
We've been all over this. I mean, we treated it like it was like the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've got the OD put. I mean, they invested greatly into this
video,
and so it came down to Maxine is the agent is saying, well, she's missed it. They've delayed the flight. She's missed her flight to Syracuse. You're going to have to get somebody into New York City to get her. And the limo guy texted me back and said, "Okay, I think I've got somebody that can pick her up in New York." So I relayed that to the agent. She took that as everything's all set and we're good to go.
I'm on the plane.
So Maxine steps on the nonstop flight to JFK. So 2 seconds later, I have no idea this. 2 seconds later, the agent or the limo guy came back and said, I've struck out. I don't have anyone that can pick her up. And so I went back. Now I'm saying, Tim, we're going to have to cancel.
Yeah.
So I went back to the agent, and the agent said, too late, she's on the plane.
Yeah.
So the only reason this actually was pulled off is because of a lapse in communication, and she hopped on the plane. Then it wasn't until like an hour and a half later that we finally nailed down someone to drive from Syracuse all the way down to JFK and bring her back. She didn't get in town until after almost 6 a.m. at the Hotel Utica.
Well, and you were talking about driving yourself, and I said,
I was
you are
drive
out
down.
of your mind.
I was driving down to get her. Well, what else could I do?
But she did bring new meaning to the term diva.
Oh.
I was going to say,
just saying.
I was just going to say, you had thought, okay, she's in town. That's got to be the worst of it. Everything's going to be fine.
Then
no.
Police. I mean, the only way we could get her, other than walking. Now, keep in mind, she's in this gown. She's, as my wife said, she is like no one you would ever expect in Utica because she's just standing out. So we couldn't even. We were worried about walking her from the beginning of the brewery through the crowd. We were worried about that getting her in because she didn't want to walk.
Yeah.
So. How are we going to get her here? So the police, we were able to get the police. They were awesome. They were there at 8 a.m. to get her. And now it's 8:05. My wife, I'd had there since 6:30. She's sitting at Hotel Utica trying to handle this. Let me tell you, I'm paying for that. And she wouldn't come down.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even answer our calls. Now it's 8:30, and the police have been sitting out there. So finally they leave, and we're told she'll be ready at 9. So the police were back at 9, 9:05, 9:10, 9:15, 9:20, nothing. Now I'm thinking, we've got her here. We paid to get her up here, and she's not going to make it on stage.
Exactly.
And then finally at 9:30, she...
Well, I will tell you, it brought more than one or two chuckles at the incident command center.
I'm sure. Just seeing the stress.
But you know,
yeah.
If that was the biggest thing we were worrying about at the incident command, that's okay.
Yeah,
but it
right.
wasn't. We were sitting there going like, okay, now it's after 9 o'clock. How the heck are we going to get this woman through?
You know, I didn't think about that, but you knew at that point.
Oh, yeah.
You knew that she still wasn't in the police car.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look at Keeler squirm up there.
I'm telling you, it was to the point where my wife was finally upstairs banging on her hotel. I mean, my wife said she kept sending and the manager over at Hotel Utica was helping. They kept sending the hotel up to her floor so that it'd be ready for her to come right down. But it was crazy.
But that she, so she leaves
killed
at 9:30. She finally gets there. No sound. I saw the video. I mean, that she
no
sound check or whatever it is. Boom, on. She's a professional.
She knocked
I'll
it
give her
out.
that.
There's no doubt. Now she did lose her cell phone.
Yeah, has that been found yet?
It has not. However, each day I try to call it. So you want to call it and see if somebody answers?
Sure.
Because by now somebody's probably charged the phone. So let's give it a try.
I wonder what her ringtone sounds like.
But we're gonna hear.
You always have some good ones.
I have a good one. Maybe she.
Okay, why is that happening? Well, how do I have
it's out of I
got it. Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
At the end. After you
at
do the
the
number.
end?
When the dial tone
okay.
comes back
Do
up.
I dial a 1?
Yep. Area code.
So it should ring now.
I wondered if her voicemail message would be...
Please leave your message for
Miss Maxine Nightingale.
I was hoping for...
Maxine, or whoever has the phone, please call us, 315-736-0186. We're trying to find that phone. Okay.
I would love for her voicemail message to have been, leave me a message and I'll get right back to where you started from.
There you go. All right, well, now... I will tell you one other funny note on this whole thing. So I'm downstairs in the lobby. My wife is upstairs with her trying to find her phone up in her hotel room. My wife came down just shaking her head. I said, well, we're just going to have to sit here and wait. We have to take her back over to the brewery. And my wife is like, we're going home. And
we're not doing another
Stone Cold.
And we went home.
Then you went home.
Listen, it's been a pleasure. This is not an end by any means.
Absolutely not.
And congratulations on 10 years. And
thank you. Well, thank you for what you did backstage, and Jeff, thank you for doing the
big moment for Jeff Manaski.
For the finish line
announcing.
I heard you did a great job. So,
thank you.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, awesome.
And Andrew keeps selling houses.
I do want to say I want to thank Tim Reed for introducing me to Charity Bib and always encouraging me in my donation. That it really shows that when he's invested in something, he keeps on it. Because the past 5 years, he's always asked me how I'm doing, and I appreciate you introducing me to that, and I look forward to doing that every year.
Yeah.
Got a break. Tim Reed, thanks so much.